Welcome back to Drunk Storytime with Quefish. So if you've watched like more than 2 episodes where I've had wine, you know that most of the time that I have wine, I literally base it on the name of the wine because I'm not a huge wine drinker. I'm like a liqueur drinker, Irish cream, beer, stuff like that. Not a big wine drinker, but every once in a while I'll see a label that, looks really pretty or something along those lines, and I'll actually try it. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But so when I was at World Market today, I saw this, and it was in the clearance section. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I almost passed it by, but one of the bottles was like turned the other way. And so just really quickly, I just saw this, right? And I'm like, and my kids were in the car, right? Because, I'm not bringing my kids everywhere because of reasons. And so I just saw it really quick out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, I have to buy that. The problem is that apparently it was not the Diver Sparkling, but it was Sparkling Brut, which is mildly embarrassing, but also hilarious in the end. So, so I have the Diver Sparkling Butt wine, which had like that champagne cage that I had to do in the kitchen just in case it went all crazy, which it didn't. But anyway, so oh, that is like all champagne-y and fizzy and stuff. I don't know. Maybe if I don't like it, I'll mix it with Chambord and make it like 1,000 times better. I think I'm gonna mix this with some Chambord. Excuse me. So anyway, so now that I've got some sparkling butt in the glass, and I was not like out of my right mind when I was shopping. It was just one of those things that I saw it and that's what it meant to me. So that's what I immediately thought it was. Let's see if I can't make this a little bit better. Doesn't take much. Little dab will do you. So now I've got Sparkling Brut, Sparkling Butt, and Chambord. And indeed it is like 1,000 times better. So, moving on with Mackaley and chapter 14 of Say Crack Again. I'm just going to put out here because the summary says Crowley's learned Jesus Christ. Crowley's learned some stick Crowley's learned some sick stunts that will surely impress his angel. So I'm going to go ahead and say adult content. Pretty sure that every single thing I've read is adult content, but it makes me laugh to say that. Prompt is accidental discorporation. Crowley had always loved humanity's new methods of transportation. Big fan of the wheel, Crowley. The first time he'd met Aziraphale at the park on top of his shiny new penny farthing, the angel had rolled his eyes so severely, the demon really did think they might fall out of his head. Give me a second. Penny farthing. Is that one of those bikes? Farthing, yeah. Is that one of those bikes with like the really big front wheel and the really teeny back wheel? It is. Oh my God. Crowley on one of those is just an accident waiting to happen. No, Crowley, why? Okay. But they'd really outdone themselves this time. Flashy, ridiculous, and prone to embarrassment and injury. Yes, hoverboards were a trend Crowley was happy to encourage. His flat was the perfect place to practice. Oh no. And when he'd actually shown the board to Aziraphale with a grin, the angel had groaned. Everyone looks absolutely ridiculous on these. They've even started using them in heaven. That's a big no-no. My 6-year-old, or 8-year-old, sorry, thinks that that's like the funniest thing ever is the angels on the hoverboards. Crowley, please, I am exhausted. Come inside and have a nice glass of something or other. He laid his arm on Crowley's, and the demon nearly chucked it into the street as his limbs twitched. A couple of months after Armageddon, he'd found his old hoverboard tucked into the back of a closet while he was looking for a suitable picnic basket for his date with Aziraphale. His eyes lit up in glee, and he packed it along with the rest of his day-date accoutrement. They arrived to their destination at a seaside cliff, and Crowley walked around to the boot of the Bentley to remove the picnic basket, blanket, and hoverboard. He walked to the spot Aziraphale had chosen near the cliff's edge, and as soon as the angel caught sight of the hoverboard, he huffed loudly. Honestly, Crowley, I thought we were going to have a nice day out, and now you've brought that thing with you. This is getting out of hand. It's ridiculous. Put it away at once. Now, wait. They have all these new tricks now. Just watch. Oh my God, it was the last words of a redneck. Hey, y'all, watch this. I mean, no offense to actual rednecks. He waved his hand to miracle the rocky grass of the cliff side smooth. He stepped onto the board and glided in smooth arcs, twisting his hips and spinning around. Aziraphale barely glanced at him as he unpacked the food and wine from the basket. You're not even looking. Aziraphale sighed and looked up at the demon, who was spinning slowly in circles. Yes, and it's because I'm rather in love with you and want it to stay that way. If you know what's good for you, you'll stop that and come enjoy this lovely picnic you've packed. Just one more. Watch this one. Aziraphale rolled his eyes but gestured at Crowley to continue. Crowley grinned and shook out his shoulders. This one's good. I'm going to do a handstand. He stepped off the board and flipped upside down onto his hands. He slowly placed a hand on the board, and it wobbled. Oh, darling, please be careful. His admonishment was cut off by the sound of Crowley yelping as he placed his other hand on the board, flailed his body, and went careening off the cliff. Aziraphale stood up quickly, rushed to the edge, and leaned over to see Crowley's broken and crooked limbs below. The hoverboard dashed to pieces on the rocks. I know you've discorporated and can't hear me, but you absolutely deserved that, he yelled down below. He turned back to the picnic basket and surveyed the spread. Well, this Gruyere isn't going to eat itself. Oh my God, that is like absolutely what I do to my kids. Not when they discorporate, but like when they hurt themselves after I told them absolutely don't do that. You deserve that. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Oh my God, that was brilliant. Okay. Chapter 15. Infinity Scarves. What are those? Okay. Crowley receives an intimate one-on-one magic performance. The prompt is Aziraphale's magic act. Author's note is, a friend once again threatened me with divorce for this one, and frankly, I don't think it's warranted. It probably isn't. Absolutely not. God. Angel, I'm revoking my very reluctant agreement to incorporate your magic act into our sex life if you don't get on with it. Aziraphale pouted at Crowley from between the demon's legs as he slowly worked him open with a plug. I'm just taking my time, love. The magic is yet to come. He pushed the plug until the flared base was settled fully, and Crowley groaned. Besides, is it not magic every time we make love? Aziraphale, I will go home right now. The angel kissed his ankle in mock apology before climbing up his body and kissing him soundly. Crowley cupped his jaw and then moved his hands eagerly down Aziraphale's body, kneading the flesh at his ass and pulling him closer to rut their cocks together. Aziraphale hummed and grabbed his thin wrists, pinning them above his head. I know how hands-on you are, Crowley. Not tonight. Crowley tilted his head. You gonna use that bit of rope you cut and magically tie back together to tie me up? Handcuffs with those linking rings? You know everyone knows how those work. Don't know why you bother using them in your act. Not tonight! Aziraphale yelled, cutting him off. Tonight, your demonic wiles will be stopped with magic. Hwah! He gestured grandly and reached his hand down to the plug between Crowley's legs. He grinned at Crowley, oh no, and slowly pulled a colorful handkerchief from the plug. Well, we'll need more than that to restrain you. Oh, what's this? He continued to pull handkerchiefs of every color out of the plug in one continuous line. Crowley stared in disbelief. We've done some fucked up sex stuff, Aziraphale, and this is still the worst thing we've ever done. I sure hope there's enough in here to keep you quiet as well. His voice grew louder as he continued to pull handkerchief upon handkerchief from Crowley's ass. Crowley thunked his head back and grabbed his wrist with his hand above his head in preparation. I'm just gonna let this happen. Oh, God. Aziraphale took the line of handkerchiefs and wrapped them deftly around his wrists and through the bars of the headboard. He pulled back and looked over the demon contemplatively. What's the matter? Thought you were gonna gag me too. And I will, dearest. Just not with the handkerchiefs. I have another trick up my sleeve. He beamed. You're naked. Don't have any sleeves. Aziraphale scowled at him and shuffled closer, nudging his cock against the demon's lips. For my next trick, I'm going to make my cock disappear. Oh my God, that's so funny. And honestly, who among us have not had that one sexual experience that's just like, okay, I'm just gonna let this happen so we can get it over with. Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. Whew. So, those were Say Crack Again, chapters 14 and 15. I don't think I said the name of this one. This chapter 15 was Infinity Scarves. Actually, I did say it now that I say it out loud again, because I had to picture in my head what an infinity scarf was. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!